I'm standing here in the foyer at Locust Grove on a snowy, cold Monday afternoon. And I wanted to talk with you about something that I believe is important for all of our lives. At least it is for me. Maybe you don't need this, so maybe I'm just trying to encourage myself a little bit. Maybe this will help you as well. I know that the times in which we live, there's a lot of darkness. I know there's a lot of concern. I know there's a lot of suffering, and there's a lot of grief. Just a moment ago here at Locust Grove, we had folks pull up who needed help with food. It's happening again and again. There's a lot of hurt and need in the middle of this pandemic. And then on top of that, the news that we get is challenging and troubling so often. It's easy to understand why so many people aren't very hopeful this Advent season, this season of Christmas. Why so many people sound more despairing, quite honestly. There's a lot of cynicism in the air. And of course, there's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of concern about what will life be like on the other side of this. And none of us really know that. All I can stand here and tell you this afternoon is that I think for all of us, hope is essential. You have to have hope. You have to learn to live with hope. In spite of the darkness, in spite of all the concerns that are there, in spite of the challenges that we may face with our own lives, I think you have to have hope. And I think hope is actually what gives us courage. And I know this, that it also calls on and requires endurance on our part. To endure, to be strong, to live with faith and hope in a world like this. And I wanted to read something to you from Romans. It's this verse. You probably already know it. It's Romans 8. Now to see is no longer to hope. Why should a person endure and wait for what is already seen? But if we hope for something we do not yet see, then in waiting for it, we show our endurance. That's it. We don't know. We can't see out beyond this very moment. We don't know what that will look like. But we can live with hope, and we can live with endurance. To endure, to be strong, to be reminded that there is light in spite of the darkness. There's still light in the world. And that there is, in spite of all the struggles and challenges that are here, there's also hope. All these years we have celebrated the season of Advent, the coming of Christ, and I stand again out in the foyer, the Christmas tree behind me, manger scene here on the table, and I'm reminded that in a very dark time in the history of the world, God chose to come and dwell among us and to say to us, I'm with you, now and always, Emmanuel, God with us. There's always hope, always. I was reminded of that yesterday. Someone gave me something that I want to share with you today through this video. Daniel Carter brought me a painting he and his wife had bought some years ago, and I want to show it to you. It's entitled Hope. Maybe you can see there why it's entitled that. That out of the stump, out of a picture that looks like there's nothing left but the decaying wood of a stump, there is a sprig, a leaf, some greenery. There is a symbol of hope. And I came today with this little video just to remind myself and hopefully you that we live with hope. And by living with hope, we can show our endurance. I know you're tired. I know you get fatigued. We all do. We're tired of it. We're over it. Some of us go, well, I'm just over it. No, you're not. Not yet. None of us are. Until that moment you You've got to endure. To endure will require hope and faith and strength in our lives. So hang on this Advent season and be encouraged and be reminded of the great hope that we have, God's presence. Emmanuel, friends, Emmanuel, God with us, God with you, God with me, God with us every day. May that word stir something in you like hope, and may you find the strength to endure.